Who doesn't know the what if story? Everyone I know, and probably you know, has what ifs stories. Now, these what ifs, I want to go and dive a little deeper because there are several paths you could take with those. One of it is, at least in my example and in this video, it doesn't exclude others, but pathways of what ifs is to create and imagine life with the what ifs. What if I would have this, and this job, this relationship, living there? How would it feel like, right? Bringing your body into the space of something unknown. And maybe you are a little bit like me. I'm right there. Like, I can really feel the sand under my feet. I can really feel the ocean. Like, I can totally dive into those areas. Now, that's beautiful, isn't it? There is the downside of that. And if you are a big feeler, and I guess you're here, so you probably are, then there is a downside of it because it also is very well known for those ones who love to go ahead when they sense some instability, or if they're unsecure in their body, and trying to prevent, trying to control something that isn't here yet. But it's fear-based. Do you see the difference? So here we have fear-based. I try to manipulate already where something is going. I'm controlling the outcome. Okay? I'm thinking ahead of time that if this person is saying this, this, and this, my answer is going to be this. And I'm going to do that so that I'm not hurt. You see? Different scenarios, but it both goes with what ifs. Okay? One is expansion and the other one is contraction. One is I'm exploring life. The other one is, oh my God, I'm not safe here. I'm trying to I don't know, make sure that each stone is at a place. And I used to do that all of the time. I didn't use the what ifs for expansion, although I did, but I didn't know then. I used it more to prevent, to control, to be safe in my body, okay? To make sure the people around me are safe. And that's where the trick comes. Your body has no idea that that is not true. Your body gives you the sensation regardless whether it's already here or not. It just fuels you with information, with sensation, and with things that could possibly solve your stuff, possibly be good for you, but it's not in truth. It's not in your alignment. It's not with this is who you are. You see? One is I'm looking rather backwards and I'm trying to prevent, right? I'm trying to, all that I've known, okay, all my life patterns that I have until here, I'm trying to accumulate my knowing, my experience, to then prevent me from hurt, to then feel good about myself, to then feel protection, right? I'm trying to protect myself, right? You're trying to protect yourself in a sense of being ahead of time. But you experience the whole thing, like all your scenarios that you have in your mind, they are all played out in your body. And you know what it does? It stresses you so much. It's such a big stressor. It stresses you to have even anxiety attacks like I used to have. I was getting so overwhelmed of these things because I could tune into that. I could tune into all of these scenarios with zero problem. I was there within a second, and I would live the whole thing. I would make it worse and worse and worse. The other thing of the expansion is it's rather a dreaming reality into, or dreaming from a dreaming space. Now I got it. From a dreaming space, putting it into your reality, right? Letting your nervous system know that this is what you currently seek, that this is the relationship you seek, that this is the friendship you seek, the romantic partner you seek, that this is what you're setting up to. You're setting the tone, okay? It's the frequency that matters here. You're setting the tone for something. You see the difference? It's not the same thing, but it's both of what if I could do X, Y, and Z. Well, one is fear-based, right? You're trying to prevent. And the other one is expansion into, whoa, that would be cool. I would love that. I would find so much joy, right? What I want you to do now is to, or what you could try, is to really center yourself again and to kind of imagine the energies coming back to you. If it's from the expansion side or from the contraction side, doesn't really matter, okay? I ask you to come back into your awareness. Bring everything back into your awareness. Now, each of them is not necessarily bad. It's not that you cannot do it, but one, you are doing it out of fear, which I would not recommend, because you're proving your nervous system that you are not safe, actually constantly, right? You need another technique. You need a way to actually soothe your nervous system a different way. If you are keep trying to do that, you're not gonna ever feel safe. And that's so painful, because I lived all of this, I lived my whole childhood, and probably until like 25, 26-ish. And then it started to be really, a change came in. Like I started to realize what I was creating. You're creating that to a part, right? You are co-creating your life, right? You are quite powerful. And to hear that is not always cool, but it also puts you in a place where you're like, okay, there is something I can do, but I don't want you to do anything right now. I don't want you to solve it. I want you to come back into this pure space that you are, into wholeness, into what is here presently, without trying to solve out there, without trying to go into the dream space or into what is possible, but rather go into, hey, I'm here. Like, I can feel the fear, you know? I can feel the sadness. I can feel the anger. And I just want to escape and to honor that and to be like, I don't like this. I don't like being in this, you know? I don't like it. And to really just let it drop into your body and be like, you know what? I don't need to escape this. I can actually feel it. I can actually allow myself, instead of going there, to find a survival plan. I find a plan to feel safe in my body, regardless of what's going on in the outside. Now, fear itself is not bad, okay? There is definitely a lot of those heavy emotions that we say is bad, rage and anger and sadness, but actually it helps you to understand yourself. It helps you to see yourself through another lens. Okay? What I find tricky is that we are really having a hard time to let joy in because it's so vulnerable. It's so vulnerable to be joyful and to actually allow ourselves to dream, right? So we rather tend to the negative because that's what we know. That's what we are forced to. This is my experience for my whole life. You know, I never received that job. So I go to that interview and I already know I'm not going to get it. And then you make those scenarios in your mind. Or let's say you really deeply love someone and that one is going to reject you, or I don't know, whatever, right? Whatever is in your life pattern, just look back and see how many things have actually happened and repeated itself. And what have you done to actually soothe yourself? Because there was nobody to help you soothe, to help you regulate, to help you calm, to be really, hey, it's okay. And you pretending with your scenarios that life is going to be okay. It's a great tactic, by the way. I'm not saying it isn't. It helped me survive years, right? But that's it. You're only surviving. You're not really living. You're not really alive with your presence. You're not really here, right? As you could. So, as we said before, just allow it to return to you, okay? Imagine like golden threads just returning to you. Whatever was yours or is yours, ask it to come home, right? Ask it to get back into your body. And use this video to really feel held, right? Not through me, but through your body, through your spirit, through your higher self, through the presence of the earth, right? Ask Pachamama to come and help you. Ask Archangel Michael to help you, right? All of these things. And it doesn't matter. Maybe you have other words, okay? Maybe you use Christ energy. I don't know. And it doesn't matter. Really, it doesn't. Okay? Allow yourself to become more of who you truly are. You are not trying to survive, and that's who you are. Okay? You lived a past that was maybe hard. And you felt unseen and you felt unheard and not good enough. But here's the truth. Now you're putting yourself in front of that. You're putting yourself up for failing, for not being good enough, doing things to already prove yourself that you're not worth it, right? And I truly, I know this by own experience. I'm not putting a finger on you. I know this by own experience. And so I'm just asking you to soften here, to be like, okay, like if, you know, whatever, like if I'm doing that, it's okay to see it. It's okay to allow myself to witness that. To be like, oh yeah, I was doing that quite often actually. I was really living the whole thing. I was really putting myself down. I was really not cheering myself on. You know, I was keeping myself small. I was trying to not be visible. Because visibility also means a lot of times that others will see you. And you will be recognized for who you are. Now, if you have never seen that, or you never stood in that light, it's difficult in the beginning and maybe even afterwards. And that's okay. Like life is not and should not be, in my opinion, like that's not it, right? It doesn't need to be like, right? Like, no highs and super lows and then high again, super low. Like, I'm not talking about that, but I'm about like, why can't we feel it? Feel this sadness when it comes and when it's here. And to know deeply that things will change again too, you see. That's actually what someone told me once when I was really, really feeling low. And the person said to me, everything is temporary. And that's so true. Like, your pain is temporary. Your angriness is temporary, right? Things change and you can change. You don't have to stay there, right? So again, like, feel into that, how this golden thread through all life patterns outside of you is actually coming back and returning. Being happy that it's called back, right? And allow it to open your heart and feel it soften and feel it being allowed to come home. Feel how it's actually welcomed in your body. And as soon as you feel like the heaviness and the denseness and all of that, just recognize that it's an emotion that wants to be felt. And feeling that will actually help you to navigate through, because your body will actually do the whole work for you. And while it does that, it will also transform it. Nothing stays the same, right? So when you are rather on the person's side or on the side of dreaming space and you're like, it's so beautiful, like, you have all of this. Maybe you're someone who is very much in the spiritual realm, right? Very much, I would say, from head up, right? And you're projecting your world over here. And it's beautiful. And you look at your life and you're like, I'd rather be there, because that is who I am in my allness, in my fullness. And nobody here in this world is actually seeing me fully, right? It's again the what if, but it's a bit farther than that. It's you're kind of escaping. I'm saying this really softly. Kind of escaping into another reality, but you can really feel the beauty of it. Even that supported myself, and you check for yourself, supported me during childhood to survive the school years. Because I could stay in that area and I would feel well. And I didn't have to look at the life that I had where I felt so empty. So that was my escape, to stay there as a child. Now, when you're an adult, you don't have to do that anymore, okay? You have options, or more options than as a child. And with that said, which is actually kind of beautiful, I find, is you can ask that timeline to come a bit closer, so this becomes the reality in 3D. Now, if you're not stable enough though, you can only go there and jump there, and it's no direct line. But if you feel steady enough in your body, and you can actually visualize that this thing becomes the truth of who you are, your next step in whatever it is, right? It could also be your dream car, I don't know. And you have placed a lot of emotions in it. A lot of things that you enjoy, that make you open up, that make you expand here. Okay, the other one was like this, you contract. This one is you open up. Okay? So imagine you call that dream space into your heart. Okay? And you let it land. And you're like, what would life feel like if this would be in the here and now? What do I need to do, act, to actually go there? You cannot just dream about it, feel it in your body. You actually have to take some actionable steps to go there, to really live it. So that has been your platform maybe for a while. And you're now asking and calling it closer so that you can take actionable steps. You can look at it as a vision board, or I don't know how you do it, right? But it helps me, for example, to create a new course, or to have new friendships or new business connections, or to get something into my life that I truly desire, so I can feel into things, how that would make me feel. And based on that, I know if that is the direction I want to go. Okay? So it's a different angle. But again, staying there or staying in this heavy, dense thing is not the real thing. Both of it is not the real deal. Because you are here. You are here. And it's cool that you are here. So let that align. Okay? Let that dream align with your reality. Feel into that. What is it that I need to do to actually have that in my reality? What can I do to get there? Not because who I am right now sucks, but because I would love to enjoy that thing. Okay? Being true and not running away from where you are, but being like, that could be cool. That could be nice. That's what I want to explore. That's what I want to experience. And then you go ahead and you do it. If that is what you enjoyed, come and work with me. Send me an email and we'll see what we can do. And yeah, meanwhile, if you haven't subscribed, if you haven't been in this community, then you're very welcome to subscribe. You're very welcome to give it a thumbs up and to make a comment, to share it, and to spread the word, let's say. And then I would say, thanks so much for listening. I wish you a wonderful day, and I'll see you another time.